What is up, party people? Welcome to another episode of Esports and Content Creators. This week is episode 7. I'm your host, and my name is Chillrogg. If this is your first time here, Esports and Content Creators is a show about the people behind the gaming industry. Each week, we invite a creator or esports professional and discuss with them what inspired them to get started, where they are in their career now, and their vision for the future of gaming. As always, I'm joined by my co-host, Sidkitten. Sidkitten, what's up?
Hey, Chillrogg. Really happy to be here.
Yeah. And this week, we're really fortunate to be joined by Twiger. Twiger is the League of Legends man. Twiger is an enormous League educational YouTuber with nearly 100,000 subscribers. Twiger is a member of the official League of Legends partner program. He's a veteran League caster of many tournaments, most importantly, Chili Mountain tournaments. Just kidding. Twiger is also an enormous Twitch streamer where he streams, you guessed it, League of Legends. Twiger, welcome to the podcast.
Pleasure to be here.
Awesome. So we want to get a little bit into your background today. It's esports and content creators. You're kind of a mix. Like usually people are one or the other. You kind of got both a little covered. So maybe we'll delve into the beginning. Way back when did you first get into League of Legends?
Oh dear Lord, this is gonna date me. I actually played the game back in the beta. The open beta, so it's been over 10 years. And it was actually, the little story behind it was I was suffering from a bit of depression because my first serious girlfriend had just broken up with me, which I know, never forget. But all of my friends wanted to talk and they wanted to figure out what was wrong. And one of my best friends in real life didn't ask me a single question about that. He literally just said, I have a beta key for this new game. Do you want to play it? And I just went, yes. Because I just needed an escape. And it was League of Legends. And so it was, about over 10 years ago. So it's been a while.
What an awesome friend.
So cute. Yeah, that's like exactly what you need.
Yeah, just an escape.
Had you been playing video games before League of Legends?
Oh, dear God, yeah. It's been, I think most people have been playing for that long, any game. You had some upbringing in gaming. So it was, of course, like way back when, like the Sega Genesis and the old N64 and the old Nintendos and things. My parents had those, my dad especially. Yes. And then he got Doom for the computer. And we only had one computer, and of course there was like no internet back in my day, so like getting something like Doom was phenomenal. And then that moved on to like Warcraft 3, and then Dota came into the picture, like all those things. I think that's also probably what got me into League of Legends so hardcore, was the Dota scene way back then in Warcraft 3. So it's a natural transition into League of Legends for me.
Did you played Warcraft 3, like all those custom games back in the day?
Oh, the tower defenses, and oh god, yeah. I realized at a very young age that I wasn't actually good enough to compete in video games, so I looked for the custom game maps, because it's like, I'm the best tower defense player, but no one cared.
Those were so much fun. I used to play those for hours. Those were really great.
I was only allowed to play for 1 hour on the weekends, so I'm glad that you got to play for hours.
Oh, that's amazing. So did you follow? So you played, like, for people who don't know, like the predecessor to League of Legends is in Warcraft 3, this Dota map that Twiger mentioned. So you played that and you transitioned. So you're like as OG as it is possible.
I would like to think so. It's sad that I'm still in the platinum rank in League of Legends if I'm that OG. A lot of people have moved further in their lives than I have. But yeah, Defense of the Ancients, when that came out, we used to play Warcraft 3, and then my friend found the Defense of the Ancients game mode in the custom games. We started playing that, and it just felt, like I was too dumb to play things like StarCraft when you had like 85 million things that you had to do. Like, I think I already had arthritis in my hands at age like 15, so I couldn't make that happen. But then it was like, okay, you can control this one character and make things work with your team. I was like, I think I can handle that mentally. So it was so much fun when we were younger, because there wasn't really a game like it. Yeah.
I was totally in the same boat. StarCraft and even Warcraft 3, like the PvP mode, that was a lot of units. That was a lot.
It was just too much. Like, and I was always really good if I got like my army together. I could figure out how to fight with my army, or I could figure out how to produce units in my base. I could never merge those two. Yeah. And then I watched, like, when I was like 13 or something like that, I watched my first StarCraft tournament, and I saw how fast everything was going. And it was at that moment that I just kind of signed off. I was like, okay, like that. It was just like watching a dream go downhill. It was like, that's never going to happen. We're going to cross that one off the bucket list. And we're just going to move on with our lives. We're going to make new dreams.
So who's your favorite champion in League of Legends?
It would have to be Lux for me. I play a ton of Lux. I'm kind of known for my Lux, even though now in this current season I'm tryharding a little bit more, so I'm playing much more like meta champions and trying to actually climb the ladder. And I just like the play style of Lux, and I feel like I'm quite good at her. I'm certainly not the best, but I enjoy her immensely.
Okay, nice.
Now, I play a little bit of League. Lux is the support, but can be played as a top laner for a little bit?
Mid laner.
Mid laner, okay, gotcha.
But I've also played her in the jungle, as a tank, as an AD carry.
Awesome.
I literally made a Will It Lux series to see if there was a role that I could not succeed with Lux on, and I have yet to find that role.
Wow, that's pretty creative. Yeah. That's cool. What do you play her like normally?
Normally either mid lane or support. Find that that's kind of where she's the best, but there's just something fun about taking a champion and playing it in a way that no one's really thought about.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of it just adds a little bit of spice to the game, a little bit of variety, that you're not just playing the same thing over and over again. Yeah. So
it's like selling your soul for LP.
Oh, I don't get LP. I just sold the soul. Yeah, there was no benefit from the soul selling. It's just I'm still as depressed, but it's at least more fun.
Do you have a group that you're playing with, or is it just like randoms all the time?
So I try to, like, when I do, we do like off meta Monday on my stream, and that's literally where we just play champions that in ways that you are not supposed to play them, in ways that if you were to see them in your game, you would go, that person is trying to lose, and you're going to report them at the end. So I always try to bring like at least 4 others onto my team, so I'm not getting reported 9 times. I'm at least only getting reported 5 times by the enemy team. But it's one of those, like, it's just trying something new and different. So at least the people, the viewers who are playing with me during that stream, they know what they're getting themselves into. They find it fun. They love the process, and they're very curious to see like what we're going to try to play next and what will work. And we've always, every stream, we get really surprised with something that ends up working, and no one expected it, but you make it work. So it's a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, but yeah, that's why I was asking that you probably needed like a set group of people or people who know what they're getting into, because otherwise the bans would be just coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't be here today.
That's fun. So you've been playing League for a long time. What do you have like a favorite moment? Like, does anything come to mind where you look back on your League like playing and career and you're like, oh, this moment was so much fun? Or...
Are we talking as like a viewer or as a player?
I guess either one. Either or.
Either one. I got my first pentakill as Gangplank, the old Gangplank, none of this barrel nonsense. The old, really simple to play Gangplank back in, I don't even know, like 2014 or something like that. I felt so on top of the world during that period of time.
Was it like just you, like against all 5 of them?
No, God, no, I'm not that good. No, I think I just managed to like hit everybody just that last little bit.
Perfect.
But of course, it says pentakill, so I immediately assumed that I did all the work. I didn't have it recorded, so I don't really know. So you know what, to answer your question, yes, it was 1v5. I did everything there. It's not online, so I will lie through my teeth about that one.
Perfect.
But then I guess in terms of like a viewer, like I genuinely watched the season 1 World Finals.
Wow.
That was basically in like Freak's basement between like 10 viewers. So I think that just like, it might not necessarily be like a moment, but it might be like an accumulation of moments that I watched the first season finals that was viewed by like 30 people. Wow. And you had like the 2 casters with horrible mic quality and horrible like pixelated video and stuff like that. And now we're at a stage where hundreds of thousands of people are watching. We're filling out places like Madison Square Garden. Like it's something that I feel really proud of, that I grew up with video games, and now all of a sudden it's become not just a hobby or something that you apparently waste your time on. It's a career. It's a path that you can take. We've got scholarships in universities. We're selling out stadiums, right? That somebody can say that, I sold out Madison Square Gardens like Adele did, right? It's such an interesting concept. So I think it's not one moment. I think it's been accumulation of just seeing how esports and gaming has grown in the entirety of the world, and how it's not necessarily just viewed as these young pimpled kids sitting in their parents' basement, right, beating each other in Super Smash Bros. All the time.
That was like a fantastic description of the evolution of esports. Oh my god, that's gonna be our thumbnail for the or our teaser for the episode. That was dope. Okay, so you touched on a little bit of LoL esports. Have you gone to a LAN event, or have you made the venture out there?
I haven't made it to an official event yet. But I've done a lot of commentaries,
Cool.
and a lot of like tournament castings and things like that for like local LAN events and things like that. At some point, I do want to go to like a World's Finals or something like that, or one of the big tournaments, because I think that would be a blast. But yeah, I haven't done too much of it. First of all, because like when you're doing commentary and stuff, you're kind of segregated in your own room. So I didn't really see it. Like I would get to like leave the room every like 4 hours to grab a slice of pizza and a Coke or something like that. And then I just get shoveled back into my tiny little den to do commentary. And I was never good enough to really sign up to be on a team or anything like that. So that's kind of my experience with LAN events. But now that things are kind of like, well, they're not getting better because of COVID, but when everything dies down, I'm excited to join more LAN events.
I'm in the same boat. Like, I haven't been to a LAN event yet, but I would love to go to Worlds or kind of one of those massive tournaments when COVID goes away, hopefully.
Yeah, eventually.
If you could change something about League of Legends, what would you change?
Oh, the toxicity.
That's such a good answer.
I don't think that that's just strictly a League of Legends problem. I think that's a gaming problem on the whole. I think we talk about this all the time because we try to develop a really positive network of people on the stream, that if somebody is toxic in one of my games and they're a viewer of mine, like, hey, I'm not making a choice here, you're gone, because it's not what I view as fun. I always found that gaming was a safe environment to be in, and I don't want anybody watching my stream to feel the need to be something that they're not. So we do the Pride Week. We do League of Pride on my channel, where we represent all the members of the LGBTQ plus community. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter about your gender, your creed, your race, your sexual orientation, anything along those lines. I feel like gaming is supposed to bring everybody together. And I feel like the anonymity of the internet kind of allows people to say whatever they want to say, no matter how it makes other people feel. And I feel like in League of Legends in particular, a lot of people become increasingly toxic. They make others feel bad about themselves, and they get away with it. And I feel like we have an okay report system in League of Legends, but there have been people that I've reported who sent me death threats and things like that, and I've reported it to Riot, and they're back playing within a week. So it's one of those things that I feel like what really needs to change is the attitudes towards people within a group of other people. And it comes back to something so phenomenally simple that my grandma would say all the time, my parents would say all the time, is that if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. And I feel like it's not a complicated thing to, you might be, and a lot of people seem to get so mad about a video game, right? That I could understand if this is your career and somebody's messing up your LP or your rank or something like that on purpose. I can understand the frustration behind that. But we play normal games of League of Legends where people are supposed to be able to learn and be bad at the game because that's how you get better. And the fact that they're getting flamed for playing the game poorly is beyond me. It makes me sad for what that person's home life must be like if they're taking all their aggression out on somebody who's brand new at League of Legends and just wanted to play a game, and now they're getting trash talked by somebody. It's beyond me.
It really does get so bad so quickly in, I guess, a variety of games, like you said. If you could have Riot's attention for an hour and talk to them, is there anything you think they could do to, like, harsher, what would you want to see, like harsher penalties or incentives to be nicer, or what would you think?
I think there were a few things, like I'm always one of the 3-strike rule.
That's a nice one.
It's also something that my parents kind of brought up all the time, is that, if you're willing, so when you talk about somebody who's being racist in the game, If they're racist the first time, they get banned for 7 days. If they're racist again, 14 days. And then if it's the third time, they're probably not all of a sudden not going to be racist anymore, right? So they should probably be out of your game, right? It's the same thing with misogyny and homophobia. It's like, that's not going to just randomly spark change, right? Oh, I got banned from League of Legends after 14 days. All of a sudden, all of my homophobic tendencies are gone. Right? It just isn't going to be the case. So if you continuously bring that up, you shouldn't be part of the game anymore. So I think, yeah, harsher penalties for things like that. But then it was also one of my friends and fellow streamer, KP, had the greatest idea that I've talked to her about, I've talked to my chat about, is that you should only be queued up with people in the same honor level as you. So I'm honor level 5. KP is honor level 5. You want to know why? Because we're very positive to other people. When somebody screws up, we say, no problem, we'll get him next time. Try to bring up like issues in the game in a positive light and how we can learn to improve and actually win the game as a team rather than flaming other people. So I guarantee you that if all the people who were honor level 0 had to play with one another all the time, and it was just a group of people constantly flaming one another and yelling at each other and not communicating, we might bring some people into a more positive game. And at that stage, people honor level 5, we're going to have a fantastic time. Like, we're all going to be laughing and smiling and saying good job when things go right, or don't worry, you'll get him next time. It would be a paradise of League of Legends if we could do something like that. It'll never happen, but I love to think about that.
That's such an awesome idea. I would totally watch a stream of the honor level 0s just like destroying each other.
Because it would be the worst thing. Imagine 10 people who are like notorious flamers all in the same game, and that's all they get to play with. Right, like that, it would be awful.
The most deserved punishment. It's so fun.
Your own little version of hell in League of Legends. Like, hey, bring it on.
So, as Chill mentioned during your intro, you are huge on YouTube. Let's get into that. What inspired you to get into YouTube? I mean, you're obviously lovely in front of the camera, so.
You know what? The funny thing was, way back when League of Legends was first starting, I was actually pretty good at the game. And I debated if I wanted to try to pursue like a more competitive version of the game. But with university and everything like that going on, I kind of had an opportunity to potentially leave university to go and play with a team. But I kind of talked to my parents and they kind of went, you know, you're never going to go back to school. They were going to support me one way or another, but it was just, you know, you're in 4th year university, should probably finish this off. So I decided not to go. And also, like, it was a big difference back then when it came to competitive League of Legends. You could move to someplace like California and not win any tournaments and make $0 while you're there, right? Content creation wasn't really a thing. Twitch wasn't really a thing. So you're taking a big gamble trying to get into a competitive scene. Nowadays, of course, like if you could join a competitive academy team or something like that, you can do a lot with that. It's a much more stable career path. But I chose not to go. I finished off my schooling, and then I just kind of felt like I was missing something. Like I wanted League of Legends to be a part of me and what I was doing with my life. So I literally started a YouTube channel, I just posted videos of my friends and I playing the game because it was one of those things that we always had really funny moments and we just wanted to be able to watch them again. Like, oh, remember that one time? And then we get to review it. And I was the only person who had a half decent computer to be able to record the game and upload a game. And then it was just, you know, like, that's how it all started. I even uploaded my first video that I ever uploaded. I called myself Twigging. I didn't even say my own name right, and I still uploaded. Like, that was the quality of my content at that point. And it was literally just to like have fun and like play with friends, and then it just expanded. It was just like a couple people started watching, and then 10 people started watching, and then 100 people, and then it was like, you need a better microphone. And I was like, no problem, buy a better microphone. Then another 100 start watching, and then you need better friends, and I was like, no problem, and got rid of those guys, and then it was just kind of a consistent move towards more viewership just over time.
So do you ever go back and look at your first couple of videos and like just evaluate how far you've come?
No, dear God, no. I can't. I don't want to see myself ever in that light. It's, you know, because it was one of those things. I do sometimes watch my old videos because it was such an opposite personality as to what I am now. I tried to be more educational in my videos. I wasn't having as much fun in my videos. And I guess I just didn't really know what I wanted my channel to be. And then it just occurred to me probably about like a couple years down the road was just like, I'm not like that. I'm way more fun than this. I like laughing at myself and my mistakes, right? Instead of trying to critique my play, it was like laugh at my mistakes and have fun with it and be more myself. So it's exactly like the person that you see on camera right now is exactly what I'm like in real life. And it just feels so much better that I finally made that change, because then it stopped feeling like a job and it started just feeling like I'm playing games to have fun again.
That makes sense. And it probably made the content easier to create for you as well.
Oh, absolutely, right? It wasn't, I didn't have to think about the education.
Oh, wait, so we're back. We had a little bit of a mic slip up there. So jumping back into it, there's one video. All right, so maybe I have to talk about this really quickly. So I went back and looked at your first video, and it is astonishing. Like, it's really cool to watch, like the growth and the change in like you finding your voice and like your YouTube presence and everything. It's really cool to like watch the first one and then watch the latest one.
Yeah, let's call it cool. But you're right. It's just it's so different. Like, I don't think that people would watch my old videos and even know that it was me. And I think it's just something that everybody in their own careers kind of figures out is, what is your voice? What do you want your voice to be? What do you want your online personality to be? And it just occurred to me that that wasn't really me, and I enjoyed having fun with things. So
Yeah.
the fact that I enjoy having fun with things means that those past videos were not very fun.
So there is one video in particular. The #1 Jax in the world is amazing. It has 440,000 views right now. What do you attribute to the massive success of this video?
So that was actually just funny you mentioned that. I was really stagnant in my growth on YouTube, and I didn't really care that much because it was just a subsidiary form of income for me. So the fact that it wasn't really growing all that much wasn't that big of a factor for me.
Yeah.
But I kind of started talking to my friends, and they started kind of thinking about ways that we could make the channel a bit better. And somebody brought up, it's like, have you ever thought of doing something called hero content? And what that is just something that's, you're getting an audience from a certain group, so like the off-meta fun League of Legends community, they already know who I am, that's who I've already got. But do people know you on the more serious side of League of Legends, like an entirely new pocket of people who have never discovered your channel? And I had done commentary before, but I had never really recorded my commentary before. So that was actually the first video that I recorded that I did my own commentary over an entire game of League of Legends. So it was the #1 Jax player in the world. It was absolutely phenomenal. But I basically just did the entire shoutcasting by myself and reviewed an entire video of that player, and kind of summed up why he was the best at the game and why he was the best at that champion. And that just took off because, once again, I feel like my commentary skills were up there. So I kind of got introduced on the scene by that. And I think people just wanted something new, and it was something that somebody else hadn't really done yet. So that's why I attribute the growth to it.
That's awesome. Very nice.
Do you know if this guy ever saw that video?
He did. Yeah, he actually commented, and he made sure that I shouted out his Twitch channel. Because I had no idea that he was a streamer, and I didn't really know the rules about all these things. So, because it was apparently an alternate account of his, he was like, yeah, by the way, it'd be really nice if you shouted out my Twitch. And I was like, I didn't know.
Oh my god.
So yeah, he has a lot. The funny thing is, I've done a lot of those videos now. And most of the time I'll try to like reach out to the person now, and they've always been like incredibly supportive of it. They love the idea behind it. Some of them didn't even know that they were the rank 1 player on that champion, so that took them by surprise. And then they get a full shoutcasted commentary of one of their better games, so it kind of brings some attention to that player as well, who might very well need it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So are there any gamers you looked up to for inspiration?
Oh God. For like professional game, like I mean, like my dad. he never beat Doom, but you know, he was always really on board with playing. Like, I feel like if somebody doesn't mention like a family member or something like that who got them into video games, I think that's first and foremost. Like, the only reason that I play video games is because my dad really loved video games, and then my mom ended up going out and buying us like a Sega Genesis and like a Nintendo 64, and that spawned kind of gaming as a whole for my brother and I. So my dad definitely, but then like when it comes to people I looked up to, I don't really have like anybody really in mind. I think it was always just like people who had the same kind of interests that I did, or people who I found were positive force in the game, or that were really, really good at the game. So like people like Voyboy was always very positive, and he was a professional player. Then he went to streaming, really tried to like pave the way for positivity in gaming. People like KP as well, fellow Canadian, who's an incredible streamer, also very positive. But then you've got other people like Gosu, who used to stream with no camera and no microphone back in the day, but he would get like 3,000 viewers because he was just so damn good. So there was also something so respectful about that, is that you didn't even really need to be a personality on Twitch. You just needed to be so good that people couldn't not watch you. So yeah, I could list off hundreds of names of people who I've watched over my countless years of playing the game. But yeah, no one like as a solid, this person influenced me. It was probably just accumulation of so many phenomenal gamers out there who kind of guided me into the way that I wanted to play the game and how I wanted to represent myself on a platform.
That's awesome. So before we wrap up the YouTube, or talking about the YouTube, do you have any goals for the future of the channel? Do you see it going in a certain direction, or kind of continuing how it is now?
100,000 subs. That's
You're
game
close.
point number one. Because I literally just feel if I can get that silver play button, I've made it.
Yeah.
I can show that to my kids and go, your dad was a YouTuber. But before then, it's just empty promises. There's nothing physical yet.
That's so cool.
So I think of course that's the main goal for that. But to be honest, it's I once again, it's a secondary career for me. So it's not my main source of income. I just want to have fun with it. The growth has never been that important. I just try to upload videos that I find fun and that I think other people would find fun as well. And if it always just, a lot of the videos I have, some of them don't get great viewership, but some people post comments about how it made their mornings better and things like that. And I've gotten great emails and direct messages from people who have been in the hospital or are recovering from something, or somebody passed away, and that my videos made them get through it a little bit easier. And that's all that I need to hear, and that's all that motivates me to just continue going with it. It's not about a paycheck. It's about making people's days just that little bit easier, especially during quarantine. If you've just got something to watch, and I have my own versions of that I like watching people's content to make my day a little bit better. And if somebody gets that from me, then I feel like it's kind of my responsibility and my job to continue uploading to make people get through the bad times in their lives just a little bit easier.
That's awesome. That's such a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's easier when you're not like financially, like if this was like the main career, then I fully understand that you do have to start making some changes to make sure that your content is hitting as many people as possible and getting those like the likes and the subscriptions and everything. Like, sure, like I understand that it is a career for a lot of people, but for me, it's just, you know, I like having fun with it. I love uploading. And the reason that I got into it at the beginning was just because I thought it was fun. So, and I remember my first paycheck from YouTube was 17 cents after I had uploaded like 112 videos.
Oh
I
my
made
God.
17 cents. So, you know, if you look at that and then you continue going, you know it's not about the money, because at that point, you know you're not going to make it.
So jumping into talking about the League Partner Program. So for people who don't know what this is, you're a member of it. You're invited by Riot Games. Could you explain to them a little bit about it?
I am one of the many elite people who have been invited to this program. It's, you know what, it was something that I had never really heard about, but I guess I hit the criteria from my YouTube channel to be invited in the first wave, which was very, very fortunate because it's now very difficult to get into. And I think they've upped their standards, so thank goodness I got in when I did. But it's basically a partnership with Riot Games. So they basically have unlocked everything on my account so I can play all the skins and the champions and stuff to create content, which is such a phenomenal thing that Riot Games has done for us. But they also give us like content creator exclusive skins and things to give away over our social media platforms and things like that. So it's just kind of a group of content creators that are now able to like collaborate with one another, meet with one another, and create better content with the help of the organization that basically makes the game that we all play. So it's a really nice environment of really fantastic content creators who are just trying to put out content for other people to watch.
It sounds like something that, is it like a great help to content creators? Like it's something that could help you make better content or help get the word about League of Legends out more?
I don't think it's necessary about getting the word about League of Legends out, because that word is out. There's no putting that back in the box. But I feel like it's great to, there have been so many things of like when somebody has a question about content creation, you've got this plethora of really high level streamers and like League of Legends YouTubers and TFT, like the Teamfight Tactics people. Like there's so many different groups of people, Legends of Runeterra that are part of it. Cosplayers as well have been invited, artists. So there's this huge group of people. It's not just streamers and YouTubers anymore, that if you wanted to get into something new, if you needed advice about something, if you wanted to try something new with another person to do a collaboration with, you now have this network that you didn't really have before. Like, how could somebody who has 10,000 subs reach out to a Twitch streamer who has 300,000 followers or something like that? Sometimes feels daunting and very difficult to be able to reach out to somebody so much bigger. But with this community, it kind of gives you that initial into that network, that you can start talking to people who have made it really far in this community, and you can kind of learn from them and attribute some of the things that they've done to hopefully grow your own brand.
Like out of all those aspects of it, there's like a ton of different ways people can interact with each other and a ton of benefits to the partner program. Is there one to you that's like your favorite, one that you think that's the most important?
It's going to sound selfish, but well, it's not really selfish. I love the fact that they give out content creator exclusive skins and things like that we can then give back to our communities.
That is nice.
Right? So it's something that I don't think a lot of streamers or YouTubers necessarily did giveaways prior to this. So the fact that we get something that we can send out to our communities and have winners for all this stuff feels really cool. And then people get actual skins that no one else has. Only people who have won this from a content creator. So, you know, it's something that kind of, I think, feels so beneficial that somebody gets this new piece of flair that they wouldn't have had previously, and it's something that feels exclusive to them, like they're kind of part of the program themselves. So I really love that aspect of it.
That's cool. So it's, what is it? It's like a skin that only partners of the program can give to their community or to people they choose?
Yeah, it's normally like a skin, and there's like an emerald green chroma to that skin
cool.
to make it look just a little bit different. So nobody else really has that chroma unless you've won it from a content creator that's in the League Partner Program. So it's kind of like a little subgroup of people who have gotten the honor nor the privilege to wear that chroma in the game.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Is there like anything else you would want to add to it? So say you could talk to Riot again. You're in a hypothetical situation. You're in the boardroom in Riot. You have you could ask them for anything to add to the partner program.
Oh man, if I had that power, lordy, the things that I would say in a Riot boardroom. You know, to be honest, I would probably ask for it to be more open. I feel like right now there are so many phenomenal content creators out there who just haven't gotten into it and haven't been able to reap the benefits of the LPP. And I feel incredibly fortunate that I made it in when I did. But when I look at other people who I find are so much better than I am, and I'm the one who's getting these benefits, and these people are applying 4 or 5 times to try to get in and still getting refused. I hope that they open it up a little bit more and I'm glad they started doing this, but League content creation isn't just YouTube videos and streamers, right? So I love the fact that they're opening up to League of Legends cosplayers and artists and the TFT group and the LOR group. Like there's so many things that Riot Games is known for. So the fact that they are now opening up to a whole slew of new people and new communities for us all to engage with. So I would, once again, I think the main thing I would ask for is just bring in more people, because I don't think it hurts the brand having more people in this. And I don't think it hurts the community to have more people collaborate and create new content and cross bridges between different platforms and things like that. So I don't think it hurts them at all to do that, but they are still being very close-minded about who they invite.
I wonder why. Do you have any idea why they're doing that?
No. I think it's been a conversation all the time between
right?
people as to why they don't invite, and the people have asked me why they don't invite more people. I was like, I wish I could tell you, but I don't have that answer.
Okay. Well, hopefully they take your advice and they open it up a little bit.
Well, when I talked to them in the Riot boardroom, they certainly shall.
Perfect. It did sound like when I first mentioned the Riot boardroom, I saw like a glint in your eye, and you were just like, "I have a lot of things to say." While we're in the boardroom, is there anything else you want to mention to them or no?
Well, such a funny thing to say, but I have probably spent like $3,000 on this game over the span of like 10 years, right?
Wow.
With skins and champions, everything.
It adds up, though.
And then in the past 2 years, they gave me LPP and unlocked everything for me. So I'd like my money back if I could. That would be kind of nice. I didn't know I was going to be here, but $3,000 goes a long way.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
I think it just comes down to like being at the Riot board. Everybody has complaints about a game, especially a game that's as big as League of Legends is. You're always going to complain about items or champions or the way that the game is played, and nothing's ever going to be perfect. And I feel so bad for the Riot Balance teams and the people who have to make these changes, because you're never going to make everybody happy. So you know what? If I was actually in the Riot boardroom, I would tell them how appreciative I am that they've made a game that has brought such a large community of gamers together, and that has really pushed the envelope when it comes to esports in general. The fact that they're streaming it now, they were one of like the first, other than like the StarCraft like Korean scene, they really pushed the boundaries when it came to online content creation and esports in general. So I don't care about the small bugs. I don't care about the client not working half the time. I don't care about the LP gains or the MMR or the bug fixes or the items being glitchy. I just care that I've got a really fun game that I've played for over 10 years with a bunch of friends. I've made a phenomenal community, and I've made friends that I'm going to be friends with for the rest of my life because they created a video game over it.
Mm-hmm. And I don't think you mentioned this in the beginning, but did you ever play or have any interest in playing Heroes of the Storm? Because I know there's some similarities there.
I did. I played Heroes of the Storm for maybe like 6 months. With a few of my friends, but I wasn't really good at it. I think it was just like the leveling system and the abilities, and like it just, the way that everything kind of like progressed in the game. This might also just be that whole saying of don't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that I played so much League of Legends that I started playing Heroes of the Storm, and it was different, and different scares me in a video game. So I just don't think I ever really like figured it out, and it was, I could definitely play it just to have fun with friends. If anybody ever invited me to play, I have a blast doing it, but I never really got into it. It never had the same pull as things like Dota did, and then League of Legends after it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I almost feel like it was kind of like the WoW effect in MOBAs. Like WoW was so big, and like other not MOBAs, other MMOs came out, and it was just everyone was established in WoW, and like they had their friends and their buddies and their ways. I feel like it was like the same effect with League. Like League was so massive.
And I had spent $3,000 on it, so why am I going to pick up another game? I'm genuinely invested.
Yeah, like for real. Okay, so shoutcasting. So you did YouTubing for a long time, and eventually you started moving into the shoutcasting sphere. What inspired you to make that change? What inspired you to take that first step?
The funniest thing was it literally came down to somebody making a comment on one of my YouTube videos saying that I had a great voice. Right? And that was genuinely it. It started with that. I was fairly well spoken, but they liked the sound of my voice, and they wanted to like hear a commentary or something like that on that. And that's basically where it came from. Then I tried doing a couple commentaries, and then I went and did some commentaries at LAN events and things like that, like some small Toronto tournaments and things. I had a blast doing it. And it was when I was doing that, I started realizing I could actually talk really fast. And I ended up getting interviewed by the Toronto Star, which is a newspaper in Toronto.
Oh, cool.
And so like they came to my house, took photos of me and things like that. One of those like really awkward photos where you're like sitting at your computer and you had to be like which just like I would never sit like that ever.
Oh
but
my God.
that's how I had to be viewed. So it was a very awkward photo.
Do you have the paper like
No.
framed? No?
No,
You didn't
God,
keep
no.
it?
Oh,
Oh my
God.
God. You were in the newspaper.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. My mom has like 87 copies of it. I personally don't have any copies of it.
That's funny.
But it was one of those like I had never really thought that I was going to be good at it. But then they did the I was speaking I think like 415 words a minute during one of my faster sprees of it. And then I just realized that I was kind of good at it, and I really really liked it. Like it was one of those I had heard other shoutcasters. And I sometimes never really felt like they brought the hype to a big moment in a game. And I had always kind of looked up to those showcasts that were really like, when something big happened, you knew something big happened. And I kind of wanted to bring that same feeling to the games that I showcasted. So it was really just that. It was kind of just progressing from doing a couple tournament commentaries. And then it really hit home when we did that #1 Jax video that you brought up previously. Is just, I did that, and that was kind of the icing on the cake for it. It was enough justification in my mind that you are decent at this, right? You should continue this, because clearly people wouldn't be watching if you just sounded like a horse dying, right? So it was clearly pretty good.
Have you ever tried to rap that one song where he's like, you know which one, right?
Busta
Yeah, I
Rhymes.
did.
Is it the Busta Rhymes one with Chris Brown?
Yeah.
So the funny thing was, I can do the Busta Rhymes one.
Wow.
The problem with that, though, and this might not go in the podcast, but the N-word is in there in the middle.
Oh, shit.
So I would get up to that point, and then I would just stop because like we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But somebody they brought up, I think it was like is it Godzilla by Eminem? Something like that. But he gets up to like, I think it's like 700 words a minute, and that
wow.
I've tried, like I've looked up the lyrics and things like that, and I've tried like being in the shower doing, like my wife literally must think that I'm like drowning in the shower when I'm trying to do it. But no,
She like closes the door.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're annoying enough as it is. But yeah, we've tried doing some faster talking things, but yeah, I can safely say that there is more rap stuff coming in the future.
Cool.
I cannot yet disclose what it is.
Oh, that's exciting.
Oh, sorry.
Obviously, aside from Chili Mountain tournaments, what has been your favorite event that you've ever casted?
Oh, it clearly has to be the Chili Mountain Challenger Cup, right? Impossible for not to be that. Well, I mean, that was so cool because I got to commentate with Quas. And like, that was just like, I've been watching professional League of Legends for like 8 years, right? It's been a long time. So like, I watched Quas when he was competing. So it was a weird fangirl moment that we were kind of like both on the same screen together and talking to one another. That felt really cool. He's yet to follow me on Twitter, but I'll get him. I'll get him eventually. In terms of other, like, I don't really think that there's a favorite one. I feel like my favorite one is always just the next one, right? Because it's just, every tournament is completely different. You never know what you're going to get, and you never really know what the people that you're going to be surrounded with are going to be like, and everybody adds their own kind of twist on things. Some people a little bit more quiet, some people you have to get a little bit more out of them from a shoutcasting perspective. But some people just carry it with them and figuring out the synergy and things like that. And then, of course, when the tournament games are great, it makes my job a lot easier. Right, because then it doesn't feel, the hardest thing is when you have a phenomenally boring game where there's been like 4 kills over 40 minutes, because then I don't have a job, right? It's basically, there is nothing exciting happening. So whenever there's a great tournament going on with great teams, you know there's going to be a lot of action, then you know it's going to be a great tournament. So yeah, I don't think there's been one specific moment that's my favorite. It's just getting to shoutcast great games. It's always fun for me.
Is there like something you're looking forward to, or something you like aspire to do in casting? Like, do you want to see yourself on the LCS desk, or do you want to do the LCK, or anything like that?
Don't get me wrong. I think it would be difficult for me to say no to that. But you know, I've put my name in the ring a bunch of times when it came to like Twitch rivals and things like that. Because when I wasn't invited to the second Twitch rivals, I really wanted to commentate the next one because I know all of the content creators that are part of this thing, so I can give a lot of background detail, and I think it would be a lot of fun. But I keep on putting that name in the hat, and it is yet to be drawn. It's apparently a very large top hat that does not have my name unless it's the very, very bottom. So I think doing things like Twitch rivals, the LCS, the funny thing is that you kind of get to a point. The LCS would be a blast, or even the LEC or the LCK even would be absolutely incredible. But the problem is, I'm now married. I have a home. Like, I have got a dog, and that would require me to be away from all of that for an extended period of time. And, I just don't want to do that. It's like, It would be a blast if I could do like guest appearances for a couple of weeks. If I could be away for a couple of weeks to do some shoutcasting there, that would be fantastic. But if I got the opportunity to like become the next shoutcaster in like a Riot tournament for the span of like 6 months to a year, I don't want to leave for that long. I like it here.
Do you ever get like stage fright based on like the number of people who are watching, or the teams who are playing, or like things like that?
Yeah, 100%. I think my parents had a really great saying when I was younger, that if you don't feel frightened or challenged, then you're not pushing yourself and you're not going to evolve. And I found that when it comes to commentary or YouTube or things like that, it's very easy just to continue uploading the same stuff, right? Stuff that's easy and stuff that you could just throw up there with no real issue, no editing, stream your regular games, right? Make your paycheck and leave. But whenever you're getting into like a live commentary, you never really know what's going to happen. And you do get that unease about it. And you don't know how your co-commentator is going to work. You don't know how the production is going to go. You don't know if the tournament is going to be horrible and the teams are going to be bad. Like, you never know all these things. So you do get that kind of queasiness in your stomach at the beginning. But to be honest, it's the same thing like group presentations in school. I always found that once I got started, my favorite expression is that once I get started, I'm too lazy to stop. And it's just kind of, you just get going and then you just get into it. And then the butterflies go away very quickly when I get started. But I do need to feel that frightened kind of aspect of my life, so that way I know that I'm pushing myself to do something. I think that's always a really good mantra to take into your life.
So aside from YouTube, we know you do Twitch. So can you give us some background into how you got into Twitch?
I literally just streamed back when I was living in Toronto years and years and years ago. It was literally just, I streamed like every Sunday. And the only reason that I streamed every Sunday was because my friends would basically watch, and it was kind of our way of like communicating and like playing and things like that. So there was nothing really special about it. It was maybe like 5 to 10 viewers. And you knew you were a small streamer when you tried to get 5 people to play the game with you, and you did not have 5 people in your chat. So it was, I guess I'll play alone then. So it really just started with that, and I just started it because I liked having fun. I liked chatting with people. I liked playing the game. But there were a couple things, like KP at one point raided my stream during a drinking stream on Friday night, which probably wasn't the best time for her to raid me, but it was still very appreciative. But that was kind of interesting because that was the first time that I had hundreds of people in my chat, which was a bizarre feeling. To try to like read the chat that's now like scrolling by super fast, and you don't know how to answer people or even what to say. But that's kind of all I did with Twitch. I never really wanted to get that big into it, but it was the first Twitch rivals in League of Legends that really got me into streaming more, because I actually got put onto a team where I was supporting Tyler 1, and Voyboy was on my team playing top lane, Force Within, and KP were all on my team. And I just remember, first of all, like shaking because all those people, all those gigantic names, and Twiger. So I had no idea how to react to any of it. But the first thing that I thought of was that, like, I don't have anything professional on my stream whatsoever, right? I have this like really crappy typed out about me section, and that was about it. Like a hand-drawn 2-year-old sign of like, be right back, that goes on my screen. Like, it was just atrocious. So my first thinking was just getting artists on board to like create a more professional looking stream. So that's kind of what got me into it more. And then the fan base that I got from Twitch Rivals and trying to stream a little bit more, it just became more fun to stream live, and I was having a bigger impact. I was gaining a bigger community. And now we stream 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, which is an absolute blast.
Mhm. Twitch your full-time job, or do you have another full-time job aside from Twitch and YouTube?
Good God, I have like 4 careers at this point. My main career is that I own and operate an urban and land use planning consulting firm in Toronto, in the Greater Toronto area. So that's the main career. But then on top of that, it's the YouTube side of things. So I have to manage my own YouTube account. I do all my own video editing and uploading and research and taglines and keywords and things. Then I've got Twitch, which I do 3 times a week for about 5 hours a session, 5 to 6.
Wow.
And then on top of that, I do voice commentary and voice acting for a bunch of other YouTube channels, like some Fortnite commentary, some Apex Legends, Wild Rift, things along those lines. And then just sporadic voice acting jobs that come up every now and again.
Wow, very busy man.
I try.
So voice acting, that's pretty cool. What kind of projects have you worked on?
There was this my favorite one was that there was a Sonic animation.
Wow.
That people did. I think it was like an off-center like Cartoon Network thing that I got invited to do. And that was a lot of fun. It never actually saw the light of day, which was kind of unfortunate. I guess they were like trying to get a pilot going, but I actually got to like go out and like be in a recording studio and like record Sonic's voice and things like that, which was kind of fun. And I've got another thing. I'm hoping to get it out in the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to do a whole bunch of League of Legends characters that I can voice act. So that should be a lot of fun, but it's an interesting business.
Wow. That's really cool. How'd you get into that in the first place? Did you like get invited, or you knew somebody, or?
It was literally, once again, it was just one of those, like, I like doing weird things with my voice. So it was kind of just like, you do a couple different things and then you go like, well, that's odd. Like maybe I could do something with that. And then it was kind of just like looking at websites and things that had like a various amount of voice acting jobs that were either paid or unpaid. There was some like fan projects that people were working on that weren't going to get you paid, but you might be able to put something in your voice reel or something like that. So it was just kind of expanding and doing a bunch of different things. And it was similar to pushing yourself with commentary. It was the same thing with voice acting, which was just you take on a character and they're supposed to sound like this, and this. It makes you feel very uncomfortable wondering if you can do something like that. And then trying to create the voice and the personality of something was just kind of pushing myself once again out of a box that I felt comfortable in. And then pushing myself over to, try something new and push myself to different heights.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess I have to ask, just out of curiosity, so you're doing all this Twitch, all this YouTube, all this stuff. What's your PC setup like?
Oh God, I couldn't even tell you. So my extent of IT and technical knowledge is if I've turned it off and turned it back on again and it still doesn't work, I have zero idea what to do.
Right.
And it was literally like, so I know that I have an AMD Ryzen as my processor and a NVIDIA GTX 1070.
Okay.
If that sounds like a gamer thing.
That's a gamer thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, sweet. So it's probably that. I literally was going to get a new computer and I was just going to go and like buy one, but I didn't know what specs I needed or what I needed to do in order to get a real PC. And a bunch of my friends who are on Discord in my community are very, very handy when it comes to these things. Yeah. So he literally just asked me, it's like, so what's your budget? I gave him my budget and he just gave me a list of the best things that I could get for that budget. And then I just went and bought everything. And then I did a ton of research as to how to build your own PC. So I actually put mine together.
Wow, nice job. Okay.
way beyond me. But it was fun, you know, like I used to do like a lot of like Connects and Lego when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So it kind of just seemed like a very adult version of something like that. And as long as like I did a ton of research, I made sure I knew what I was doing and I wasn't going to be scared when I opened up all the PC parts as to where they went. And it was a really fun project to do, but I'm overdue for an upgrade.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, the gaming community is like, they love that stuff. If you're like, I need help with a new build, people will start like clamoring, like,
Oh, 100%. And don't get me wrong. I think it's one of those things that I wish I knew more about. But in terms of other things that I've got going on in my life, I just need it to work, right? As long as it works and it does what I need it to do, I'm pretty much okay with it. Like I genuinely, the most technology I've currently done is I actually bought a Dance Dance Revolution arcade machine.
oh, cool.
Because I am very, very passionate about that. But I've had to like fix it up, which has been an insane challenge. So people are like in my community making fun of me now because I can apparently fix an arcade machine, like an old 2002 Konami arcade machine, but I can't like take out an HDMI cable.
That is really impressive. An old arcade machine. I'd be totally lost.
Oh yeah. And I was totally lost. But once again, it was just like something that I was passionate about having in my home. And then getting it, there's a whole bunch of things you need to do and update and fix and stuff. And it just became a fun pet project for me.
But you edit your own YouTube videos, right? So that's super impressive. Did you like self-teach?
Yeah. So, well, like my video editing at the very beginning, which you can probably tell if you look at my old videos, which I definitely suggest you don't do. But that was literally on like Windows Movie Maker. Because that was the only technology that I knew could technically edit a video. So I had those like old PowerPoint like slide in transitions.
Oh
like,
my god.
Oh, it
Those
was
are the best.
fantastic.
That's painful.
Oh, it was awful. It was just awful. Even like the text slides that would come up and you have that like one bar of text that would be in the middle. I thought that was really impressive when I figured out how to do that. But yeah, now I'm using Sony Vegas Pro. And I've learned a little bit more just about how to do it. Like once again, I'm not doing a ton of really intense editing. There are people who are very, very good at editing. I will never put myself on that kind of a margin, but I can edit a video.
That's all you need.
That's all I need. I just need to be able to edit the video to a place where it is now viewable by the public.
Yeah.
Okay, so that takes us to our hour. Twiger, thanks so much for joining us. Could you tell everyone where they can find you and where they should find your content?
It'd be really funny at this moment to say my home address. Basically, YouTube and Twitch, Twiger LOL on both, and then same thing with Instagram. There's an underscore after Twiger LOL, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Twitter as well, Twiger LOL. I'm very creative, so basically all that.
Awesome. And then Sid, where can people find you?
I'm on all social media platforms at It's Me Sidkitten, except for Twitch. It's twitch.tv/Sidkitten.
Okay, nice. Thanks again for watching.
Where can we find you?
Thank you, Twiger. So at Chillrogg, CHILLROGG, everywhere except TikTok. TikTok, I'm Chillrogg2. I couldn't get Chillrogg.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, thanks again, guys. And then, yeah, this podcast is available Spotify, iTunes, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to watch the YouTube version, youtube.com/chillymountain. Thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you guys next week.